I am working on a dresser, and I actually found a little while ago these gorgeous knobs, and I love blue, and I think these are just gorgeous. So they inspired me to use them in a dresser. So yeah, I found these gorgeous knobs, I guess about a month or so ago, and I just felt as though something really special needed to be done with these knobs. So I decided that, first of all, I wanted to find a paint color that would look good with this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous blue. And I also wanted to use Redesign with Prima's gorgeous tissue paper. So, so that's what I'm doing. I've already done one drawer completely, and I'm going to show you how to do it from start to finish. So let's get started. First of all, the transfer I'm using is called, it's not a transfer, it's tissue paper. It's called Bridget. And they come in these little clear tubes. They're from Redesign with Prima. So I've got the tube open, and it comes in a package of 2. So they are in size. They're not the exact same design. They're 2 different designs, but they're very similar, and they're beautiful. Let's see, they are 19 inches by 30 inches. So this is what they look like. That's what one of them looks like. And this is what the other one looks like. So this is the one that I have on here, and this is the other one. It's 4 drawers, so I'm alternating the drawers. This color is from General Finishes. I love General Finishes. It's called China Blue. Okay, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. It's called China Blue. And if you guys remember the dresser that we did for Restore a while back, this is the same color. So I just thought it matched this hardware that I'm kind of in love with. Just don't tell Kevin. I'm kind of in love with this hardware. So here's the tissue paper. Now, it's called tissue paper, but I'm gonna tell you something. Nothing about this is paper-ish. If you've done decoupage with tissue paper, you know that it is very, very delicate. It easily tears, it easily wrinkles. This is nothing like that. I could take it and put it in a ball, open it up. It's got no wrinkles. The best way for me to describe it is that it's sort of a cross between fabric. You can't tear it. You can cut it, but you can't tear it. And it feels almost like dryer sheets. They're calling it tissue paper, and that's fine with me because it's great. I've used it for mixed media pieces. I love it for furniture, particularly drawer fronts. And that's what we're doing today. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of get an idea of where I want to put it on my piece. I'm looking at the other drawer that I did already, and I'm trying to, I don't want to be exact, but I want to be sort of similar. Now, I'm going to leave the edges hanging off like this, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Okay, so now that I did that, I'm going to take my, I'm actually using General Finishes High Performance Top Coat as my decoupage medium, and it works really well, especially since I'm going to want to seal this. You always want to seal your tissue paper or your transfer unless you're just doing it for an art piece and you're not too worried about it. So we're going to use this. I'm going to open it up. We do not want to shake it. This is a water-based top coat, and we don't want to shake it. The reason being, we don't want bubbles. If you shake a top coat, you can get bubbles, and that's just a pain. If that happens, just put it aside and go back to it later. So I'm just gonna mix it with a stirring stick. Okay, so I have this stirred up nicely. Again, you don't want to shake it. I'm gonna take my paper off, just put it aside for a minute. And I'm gonna use a foam brush, and I'm going to just put a layer on my drawer. Okay. So I'm just pulling this across. I want to make sure that I have everything covered. And I'm even going to put a teeny bit, there's like a little lip here, and I'm going to put a teeny bit just on the edge of that, just because I want to make sure it's covered, and you'll see why in a second. I have my tissue paper. Now, you want to make sure that you've got it the right side up, and that the top part is showing and that it's facing the right direction. That's pretty easy to do. Now I'm going to lay it down, sort of how I had my other one. Doesn't have to be exact, but I want to have it somewhat the same. It's very forgiving at first, so if you need to, you can pull it up and finagle it a little bit here and there. It's pretty forgiving. And you want to have an edge hanging off. Don't worry about, we're not gonna be cutting this, so don't worry about the edge hanging off. We actually want that. So now I'm just gonna smooth it out with my hands. And then I'm gonna take my top coat again, and again, we're using General Finishes High Performance Top Coat in satin. It'll work just as well with the flat or the semi-gloss or the gloss. I just happen to really like the satin. And now I'm gonna go over the whole thing on the surface where it's adhering. I'm not gonna go over the edges. Actually, I'm going over the edges, it's just the tiniest bit. But that's it. I'm not going all the way to the end of where the tissue paper is. Okay, so I've gotten everything covered. Now I have gone beyond the edge of the dresser, but only a drop, not even half an inch. I'm not going to the edge of the tissue paper, but I've got it all covered. So now I'm going to take this and put it aside. So now we're going to go to a piece that I did already, and I let it dry. So this is another drawer. I did this more than a day ago, and I let it dry. And now I'm going to show you how you trim this off. So if you're thinking that you're going to use a scissor or something like that, you're not. There is no way that I could take a scissor and cut this and get it completely smooth and finished nicely enough. And let me show you this one that I showed you earlier. This one is done. You can see how nice the edges are on this. So I could never do that with a scissor, just couldn't. But there is a better way, there's a better way. Okay, so I'm gonna take a piece of sandpaper, and whenever I use sandpaper, no matter what it is that I'm doing, whether I'm prepping a piece or just stressing or just smoothing it out, I always like to start with a fine grit sandpaper, only because I don't want to do too much and then have to go back. So this is a 220. I also have a 100 on hand just in case. So with sandpaper, the higher the number, the smoother the grit. The lower the number, the grittier. I know that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, at least to me, but that's the way it is. So this black piece is a 220. And just so you know, it has nothing to do with the color of the sandpaper. Different manufacturers make it different colors. And so you want to look on the back and see what the number is. This is a 220, so it's a pretty fine grit. So I'm going to pull this sort of taut, sort of tight. I'm going to take my sandpaper, and I'm feeling this edge right here, and I'm just going for that edge right here. Let's see if, oh, the 220 is working. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's sanding through the tissue paper. So I'm just going to keep going. As soon as you feel that it's sanded through the tissue paper, you'll see a break in it. Can you guys actually see where this is tearing right there? That's what I want. And I'm making a perfect edge with the sandpaper. So I'm just going to keep going. And look how this is all coming off. Can you see this? Isn't that great? My edge is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Now I'm gonna go to the last edge and look at all this that I've gotten off already. Isn't that great? So I will take this and throw this in my little stash. So when you do this, take the excess and throw it in your stash. I know you guys all have a craft stash somewhere. We all do. this is my end result. So I'm super excited by this. The sides of the dresser will be in the China blue, solid. And I believe I'm gonna do the top of the dresser in the China blue as well. So these are the drawers I have. 2.5 of them are done. So it's really easy and fun to work with. As I said before, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions or comments that you may have. Let me know what you think, how you think it looks, because I always want to know. And as I said before, if you have a friend that you think would want to see this, see how to do this, how easy it is, please share it on your Facebook page. Hope you guys had a very happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys soon.